This video is going to be the first in a short mini-series of guides I'm going to be providing covering how to obtain shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Shiny hunting is something a lot of Pokemon fans really enjoy doing, particularly in the aftergame when there isn't so much to do. To obtain shiny versions of their favourite Pokemon, it can be really rewarding to stumble across your favourite Pokemon as a shiny, or breed them as a shiny, or something like that. This first video is going to demonstrate and explain a method known as fish chaining. Fish chaining was first introduced in Pokemon X and Pokemon Y and has remained largely unchanged. In fact, completely unchanged in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So that's really good. This method was first introduced to allow finding shiny water type Pokemon to be a lot easier. It was very difficult pre-generation 6 to actually find shiny water type Pokemon. I'm going to go over the basics, so if you guys are familiar with what this method actually is, maybe skip ahead or watch the entire video. Maybe you'll learn something new. So, explaining the basics, what you're going to want in your party is a Pokemon with suction cups. There's going to be a link in the description to a webpage displaying every single Pokemon that can actually have suction cups as an ability. I'd say having a Pokemon with suction cups is not only ideal but necessary completely due to how much it helps. Due to this method requiring us to actually chain Pokemon, fish Pokemon, you know, chaining Pokemon via fishing, having suction cups, an ability that pretty much guarantees you running into a Pokemon while fishing 100% of the time, totally necessary. You need a Pokemon with suction cups. Now, this Inkay is level 1, unfortunately, so at some point I'm just going to let it faint so my Swampert or whatever can actually weaken the Pokemon when it comes. Pokemon with suction cups, absolutely necessary. Going over the items you might need, honestly, pretty self-explanatory. If you're going to be fishing, you're going to want either the old rod, the good rod, or the super rods. Doesn't matter which one you use. You can find shiny Pokemon with any of the three. The old rod you can find in Dewford Town. The good rod you can find on Route 118, like I'm on right now. Or the super rod you can find in Mosdeep City, in a house near to the Space Center. Ideally, you'd want the Super Charm now. The Shiny Charm now. The rate of finding a shiny Pokemon without the Shiny Charm and without any methods, without any shiny hunting methods, is 1 in 4,096. With the Shiny Charm, those odds are greatly reduced down to roughly, not exactly, I don't know the precise figure, it's roughly 1 in 1,100. It essentially cuts the odds by 3/4, which is fantastic. And once you have a chain of roughly 40, in fact I believe it's exactly 40, the odds of finding a shiny Pokemon is 1 in 200. So with the Shiny Charm on top of that, you'll have about a 1 in, I don't know, 133 chance of finding a shiny Pokemon once the optimal amount of Pokemon chained is there. Really fantastic odds. Now, I'm going to be using the Super Rod. As I've said, it really doesn't matter what you use. What I'm going to do though is unregister everything I've got. This is going to be a little bit of a tip from me, because quite honestly, I'm using the dowsing machine. Why am I using the dowsing machine? Quite honestly, I'm going to explain in just a second. Misclicking and, I don't know, clicking the Eon Flute or something like that is the worst thing that can happen. I've had it happen mid-chain for me, and it's just gut-wrenching and heartbreaking. So I've got everything unregistered because during this method, while you're building up a chain, you are not allowed to move at all. Once you start your chain, you are going to have to remain completely rooted until you've either completed your chain, and until you've, I don't know, found a shiny Pokemon, or until you've just got bored. So let's begin our chain, shall we? Let's actually begin this. I'll demonstrate and I'll explain in greater depth. To build a chain, all you need to do is fish up a Pokemon. That is all you need to do. You can run away, you can beat it, I guess. You can fight it and actually defeat it, or you can run away. Most people, in fact, I'm pretty sure everyone prefers to run away because it makes building this chain a lot quicker. So I'm going to run away from this Carvanha. I'm going to hope one of these Pokemon just knocks out my Inkay, because I obviously don't want it out in front when the shiny Pokemon comes. I want to be able to at least weaken it or whatever, or at least be able to run away from every other Pokemon before it. So currently we're on a chain of 1. It's pretty easy. All you have to do is stay focused, especially while you're fishing. This can be a very passive way of actually getting shiny Pokemon. You don't have to pay too much attention, just only while you're fishing. We're currently on a chain of 2 right now. I'm not going to show you guys the entire chain while I'm commentating, because 1, that'd get very boring, and 2, honestly, I'll probably get distracted and end up losing the chain. So I want to build it up and actually show you me encountering a shiny Pokemon. So I'm going to run away as soon as I can. Hopefully Carvanha decides to use some kind of water type attack, and I'll show you one more and then I'll get right into the chain, I guess. So you guys, I don't know, get to see me actually proving that this method works. So yeah, fish chaining has returned in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which is really convenient for shiny hunters and can just make it, I don't know, make the aftergame a tiny bit more fun. So I'll show you one more chain. I think I've went pretty much over all the basics. So this will be the last Pokemon I actually show you guys me chaining. And then I will show up a sped up little montage of every Pokemon I chain. The very first time I tried this method, I encountered a shiny Scralp on the 3rd encounter, which was absolutely crazy. It shows just how fantastic this method is. So going over a couple more of the basics, few things I've remembered. As I said, you can't move from your location. You can put your Nintendo 3DS into sleep mode by either closing it or however you put it into sleep mode on the 2DS. But you can't save and you can't turn off. So don't do that. When you're chaining fish, you're chaining fish. So yeah. Well, I guess one more Pokemon, and then we will try and encounter a shiny Pokemon for you guys, just to show you guys that it works. So this is our 4th. We are a 10th of the way to 40. You can encounter a shiny Pokemon before that 40 chain. You can encounter one after. That's just where the odds are most optimal. So yeah. Anyway, I think we're pretty much done right here. Unfortunately, these Carvanhas are deciding not to kill, not to make my Inkay faint, which is a little bit frustrating, but oh well, there we go, Ice Fang. That'll speed it up a lot quicker. So yeah, happy about that. We'll try and run away, and then I'll show you guys me encountering a shiny Pokemon. And I hope you guys will have exactly the same amount of luck as I do and have had with this method. I've encountered plenty of shiny Pokemon in Pokemon X and Pokemon Y using this method. Anyway, let's speed up the footage, or if the footage is too long, let's skip to when I actually encounter a shiny Pokemon. And finally, after a super huge chain, we have ran into a shiny Carvanha, and I'm sorry if there was, I don't know, duplicate game audio right there. I was using my Nintendo 3DS game audio because, I don't know, it's better to actually listen than to actually watch the prompts on screen. I find if you listen, you don't miss as many of the, I don't know, you don't miss any. So yeah, I guess that's a really bad way to explain, but yes, I'm just really excited because we finally ran into a shiny Carvanha. So hopefully I can capture this, and yeah, here's your proof that it actually works, and encouragement for you guys to do this yourself, because this is a really nice way of finding shiny Pokemon and building up your collection and stuff like that. I'm honestly a bit too afraid to weaken this, as my levels are so much higher than this Carvanha, but yeah, really excited that we've ran into it. Not gonna lie, I was starting to lose a tiny bit of hope, because I did have one failed chain, unfortunately, where I couldn't actually find any Pokemon using the fishing rod. So be warned, that may happen from time to time. But yeah, shiny Carvanha. So yeah, this is proof that shiny chaining has returned to Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and just try it yourself. It is really addictive. In Pokemon X and Pokemon Y, I really did get addicted to finding as many shiny Pokemon as I could, especially with chain fishing. It was something I couldn't get enough of. I was hooked, which is ironic because fishing, no pun intended. But yeah, let's see if we can capture this. It'd be really nice if we can capture in a Pokeball. I don't know, I just like capturing a Pokeball. There we go, Carvanha was caught. Shiny Carvanha was caught. Very proud to capture that. So yeah, there we go. I've already caught a Carvanha. That's why we do not have the Pokedex screen. I'm not going to nickname it. Let's have a look at our box, shall we? Let's actually show it to you guys. And yeah, there's your encouragement to do this. And I hope you have learned something. I think I've pretty much covered all the basics. If you guys have any questions, literally any questions at all, leave me a comment, ask me, and I will answer them. I can't promise immediately, but I will answer them. I will make sure I keep checking this video. I will keep answering you guys. So, let's have a look, shall we? I'm not too sure which box it'll have been deposited in. It is in the box with my... yeah, here, right here, where my Inkay is supposed to be. Whoa, I just confused myself. Okay, right here. Shiny Carvanha, really happy with this. It was the Pokemon I was going for. Honestly, its ability doesn't matter, it's more just for show. Caught on Route 118. Yeah, there we go. Really proud of this. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. As I said, any questions at all, leave me a comment. And a like would be really appreciated if you have found this useful. Not a requirement, just, I don't know, me friendly. Asking friendly, I don't know, it's not really a word. And feel free to subscribe so you don't miss any more of my future Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire videos, including my shiny hunting guides. There will be plenty more on the way. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been informative and or entertaining, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.